think is our moral responsibility to the homeless population in Asheville?
Thank you for the question, Carol. Our moral responsibility is like a moral responsibility to any group that is vulnerable, that needs help, and the responsibility is to help. Not only to help, but a significant portion of our budget has to demonstrate that we do care. One of the things that I've looked at, homelessness, is that it has increased every year. Now, there is in this country a drift, or a wealth has left the middle class and sort of gravitated or moved up to the 1%. And then there are the rest of us down here, the 99%, I guess you would call us. There are some of us who are weaker than others. And because of a job, an illness, a divorce, whatever, or substance abuse, or some other sort of health issue, most folks are one paycheck away from disaster, okay? So there but for the grace of God, go with it. One of the things that we need to do is, like a lot of folks here in Asheville, is that they're coalescing around the issue of homelessness and how pervasive it truly is. One of the things that I would ask them to do is to keep really good data. Really good data has been provided to the extent that we know rapid rehousing does work. But there are also some other wraparound services that need to happen to make sure that folks, once these services are gone, prosper. One of the things that I look at when I look at homelessness is I try to figure out how can we strengthen folks so that they're not back out on the street again. What is it that's missing from somebody's life or a family situation where they don't have any support and wind up on the street? Okay, so that's a question that when they're rapidly rehoused, I would admonish, and I don't know whether or not these providers are looking at that from their familiar situation to their ability to make a living, to if they have substance or psychological problems, whatever it is, let's face it, it's going to have to be addressed during that period. There should be a respite period in there where these evaluations are done, because it's critical that they are evaluated properly. So I know that a lot of agencies do this, but assessment is very critical, okay? So I'm not sure, especially with us seeing that a lot of these people are winding right back up on the street again. So it means to me that an assessment of the problem has not been properly done. Oftentimes what folks do because of budgetary constraints is to hurry this person up, not do an appropriate analysis or assessment and a treatment plan or a overlapping life strategy plan, and then they thrust them into maybe a work situation, and the first time, or some other situation that us so-called normal people are in, and the first time something goes wrong, they succumb and they're right back where they start from. So I would say to you that it's very key that providers, either their capacity needs to be built, and we need to provide funding in some sort of way to make sure. I know the federal government will probably may or may not have HUD funding to the level that it did. So we need to be prepared as a local government to step in, because it could happen to anybody, the 99% of us who fit that socioeconomic strata. But I would say to you that budgets are moral instruments, that we do need to set aside appropriate funds for that. And also to make sure that those providers are being held to accountability, and take a look to make sure that they are using those funds and have appropriate programming and assessments that keep these people from being homeless in the future. Thank you for the question, Karen.